The first topic is on construction safety practices for DPWH projects. Our speaker is a graduate of Associate in Marine Engineering. He is also a licensed mechanical engineer and a licensed civil engineer. Some of the appreciation or the awards that he has received is that of Excellence in Equipment Fleet Management, second place, and this is awarded by DPWH Bureau of Equipment. Another is the 3-star rating in water-based equipment for the first cluster by DPWH Bureau of Equipment. He is currently the chief of the Equipment Management Division of DPWH Region 7, and he specializes in construction safety and health. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome and give a virtual round of applause to Engineer Jerry B. Evangelio. Sir Jerry.
I am I am online.
Yes, sir. We can now see your presentation and we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay.
Once again, good afternoon to all participants. Thank you, Ma'am Mauri, for the introduction. And before I proceed to the presentation, which this prestige institution tasked me to present, allow me first, to give my first message to this prestige institution. It is really my distinct honor to be invited here. This is my second time. I hope there will be a third and fourth time. Of course, with due respect to my brother, your PIC Cebu Chapter President, Jerry Maratas, for spearheading this webinar in lieu of this pandemic. Honestly, as I perform my functions in the office, in DPWH, I am so happy. Through this, I could be able to extend my awareness campaign towards safety practices. So thank you very much for having me. And let's now proceed to the presentation I prepared. On my first slide, please. Next slide, please. No, you know me already. I just want to correct Ma'am Flo. I am just a graduate of civil engineering. I haven't taken yet the civil engineering licensure exam. So thank you for promoting me. Now this is the construction safety guidelines that our department, the Department of Public Works and Highways, particularly Regional Office 7 in SRP Cebu, has the documents which from now and then I take actions and I take the responsibility to educate and give awareness to all our project contractors counterparts. Because as you know, DPWH has projects under contracting scheme, and we procured it through the guidelines of the Republic Act 9184, the procurement law. So from the notice of award, no, from the execution of the notice of award, and then the notice of to proceed, it is now my responsibility to look after each safety practices, no, not just safety, but including health. That is construction safety and health. So not just the construction safety, but including the construction health programs of our project contractors that I am really looking for. So my first slide, if you look at the timeline, it was in the year 1998 that the Department of Labor and Employment, through its Department Order 13, series of 1998, the general guidelines on safety and health in workplaces. So this is our mother guidelines, as I consider in the Department of Public Works and Highways. Because in that year, 1998, was disseminated. After 1998, now the Department of Public Works and Highways in 2004 disseminated the Roadwork Safety Manual. So this includes the roadworks safety standards, and through the Bureau of Maintenance of the Department of Public Works and Highways centralized, consolidated those standards and have it a manual for dissemination to all regional and district engineering offices. So in 2005, after this dissemination of the manual, in 2005, next timeline, back to the timeline. In the year 2005, no, DPWH Central Office disseminated through Department Order 56, series of 2005, the implementation guidelines for DOLE Department Order 13, series of 1998. So, murag, in a span of 7 years, the DPWH come to issue the Department Order 50 series of 2005. No? If you notice on the screen, on the subject, guidelines for the implementation of DOLE DO number 13 series of 1998. And then on the back to the timeline. It was signed by Hermogenes Ibdani Jr., the acting secretary of that year. Now, from 2005, no, so considering that Department Order 56 series of 2005 was disseminated and practiced in DPWH. So another improvement or upgrading its safety practices. In the year 2014, DPWH issued Department Order 129 series of 2015, the CHSP of contractors engaged by DPWH. Now, before, there are two schemes adopted by DPWH. It is project by contract and project by administration. So for that year, 2014, DPWH issued these guidelines exclusively for our project contractors. So if I may read this subject guidelines in the implementation of memorandum dated July 17, 2014 of Secretary of DOLE on the procedure in the evaluation of construction safety and health program, CSSP, of contractors engaged by DPWH pursuant to DPWH Department Order number 56 series of 2005. So that is the subject of this order. Was signed by then Secretary Rogelio L. Singson. Back to the timeline. Now, after 2014, timeline please. On the year 2015, now, there is an improvement of the cooperation and the collaboration of each agency, particularly Department of Labor, Employment, and DPWH. On the year 2015, a joint memorandum of agreement on construction safety and health program was initiated and disseminated, signed by the both Secretary of the Department of Labor and Employment, then Rosalinda de Mapilis Baldos, and Department of Public Works and Highways, the then Secretary Rogelio Singson. So this is all pertinent to the implementation, again, back to the mother department order introduced by DOLE, VO 13 series of 1998. So after that year, 2015, the headlines, please. Gap, no, from 2015 to 2018. This is the, actually I consolidated and summarized it, and I summarized the guidelines, which is very particular, and that's why I presented like this straight line by year for you to be guided. On 2018, directly, Department Order 13, series of 2018, was disseminated to all regional offices and district engineering offices on the cost estimate for signages and devices. That was dated January 18, 2018. So from here, actually, this is both projects implemented by DPWH, roads and vertical and horizontal projects. So on these guidelines, on this department order, stating all the standard and sample itemized computation of all safety standards and signages incorporated in each program of works, now even in the detailed unit price analysis attached to the plans and programs that is scheduled to, or that was scheduled to the procurement. So this safety or construction safety and health program incorporated in the program of work is a line item, line pay item of the project implementation, meaning pay in tow scheme. Either it is procured or rented. So there are sample of this department order series of 2013 that up to this moment, up to this time, our planning engineers in our district engineering offices and even in the regional offices guided. As I've said, separate district engineering offices has its own implementing arm and jurisdiction. Like us in the regional office, we are a separate implementing office. And district engineering offices in the region also an implementing offices. So we separated implemented projects based on our capability and limitations, because there are districts allowed to projects like 50 million or 100 million below. So there is a limit of authority. Each implementing offices allowed to procure and implement. So from 2018, now back to the last paragraph of this order, I would like to read it to you. This order, the last paragraph of DO 13 series of 2018, back to the DO 13. Back to 2018, DO 13 series of 2018. In the last paragraph, this order supplements the existing DPWH Roadwork Safety Manual, series of 2004. DO number 56, series of 2005. Guidelines for the implementation of DOLE DO number 13, series of 1998. And yeah, 1998. On occupational safety and health in the construction industry. And DO, the DPWH DO number 36, series of 2005. Provision and installation of road safety devices along critical sections of all DPWH preventive maintenance / asphalt overlay and reblocking projects. And DO number 103, series of 2016. Guidelines in the preparation of provision and maintenance of traffic control as pay item in the above in the approved budget for the contract ABC on infrastructure projects. So as I've said earlier, there are a series of department orders that I deleted or I did not include, considering that this very important department order 13 series of 2018 supplements the previous orders or guidelines DPWH disseminated. No? So this department order 13 series of 2018 comprises all the standards the mother DO, Dolly DO 13 series of 1998 up to the 2016 Department Order stating or emphasizing preventive maintenance and other projects that involve safety compliance. So if there are participants of DPWH on the web right now, I know they are very much aware of this because I even go around the districts and even Negros district offices and in Bohol, particularly Region 7, Bohol district offices to know, and I conducted the awareness of all the district, 14 district engineering office of DPWH Region 7 for the continuation of the program and the awareness of all. So not just our personnel involved here, it is the project contractor. So it is not the sole responsibility of the DPWH to really implement or place everything that is needed for the project, but it is a joint responsibility of our project partners, our project contractors, to do the same, because they are binded with that contract. As I mentioned, we have now of project contracting. So from 2018, back to the timeline. Now, for this, I said the DO13 series of 2018. I would like to show you the caption of this, or the cost estimate sample and the placement under this Department Order 13 series of 2018. Please. Slide for, yeah, next please, slide. Next slide. For DO13 series of 2018. So these are included in that Department Order 13. If you will notice, in every signage, there is a dimension. That is why we called it standard signages. When we say standard, of course, with the same dimension as you look to the other projects. So these are the standards under that DO13 series of 2018. The speed regulations, detour signs, all in millimeter. The dimensions are all in millimeter. WITAR, soft edges, gravel road, low surface, traffic hazard ahead, and so on and so forth. Now, for roads, signs for lane and road closures. Again, with specific dimension. So one road closed or one lane closed, this is the dimension. If it is two lanes open and one lane closed, this is the sign with dimension. For pedestrian control, we have also here. Pedestrian, watch your step. Pedestrians, use other footpath. But if you will notice, we use the common temporary hazard markers, especially when we conducted shouldering within Metro Cebu. Consider that Metro Cebu is a highly urbanized cities, and sometimes we cannot undertake projects during daytime. So there are projects that implemented beyond the office hours, like started from 6 p.m. until 12 midnight. So there are common temporary hazard markers that was used. No? So for this, one chevron has its dimension, 600 by 600 millimeters. No? And three chevron sign 1,500 by 450, including the color. So this is tall. And what is stated in this Department Order 13 series of 28 is applicable to all DWH projects. So for uniformity and standard, I always emphasize this color, the black combination, the color combination of black and yellow. For other signages under this DO 13, no series of 20. Next, please. Na panel. Here, this is very common again. And just last week, I noticed this standard sign panel of appropriated shading. These signages, no? Signage. If I remember in back of the CTU building, going SRP Road, the project implemented by Cebu City District Engineering Office, I noticed this signage, no? With standard vertical height of 1.5 meter. So again, I always emphasize this during my awareness campaign in the district and even in the regional office presently. To have a uniformity and to become implementing guidelines, implementing standard guidelines, we always implement and we always fabricate a standard also dimension. So, hindi pwedeng paiba-iba yung height. Because all of this, makikita natin sa DPWH guideline, yung Department Order 13 series of 2018. So, there are implementing offices implement what is used or what is in the guidelines. But sad to note, there are offices that implemented also a substandard signages. That is why up to this moment, it is my struggle actually how I could influence, how I could inform our project contractors and even the implementing offices of this region to follow the standards, what is stated and what is in the DPWH guideline DO number 13 series of 2018. So another placement or another signages or warning devices. The next slide, please. This is very common also. If there is a deep excavation, of course, within Metro Cebu, I inspected, I noticed one of the districts within Metro Cebu has a deep excavation projects, no? Considering the shoulders with like this wire mesh barricade, or this is commonly called construction mesh fence. So if you notice, again, there is a dimension given, and this will be or this can be extracted in the guidelines of DPWH. Nothing to worry about the dimension because it is all given in that guidelines. Again, I emphasize the standards. When we say standard, it is the standard for all, or it is the given height with materials for all, for our project contractors to fabricate and emplace. So this is applicable for deep excavation. The next standard is safety signages and barricades. Another very common, this is called the traffic cone. And this is very sad to note, no? But there are offices, as I've said, follow what is the subject to in place. The traffic cone should be in the height of 450 millimeters to 750 millimeters with a reflective tape which has a bandwidth of 150 millimeters. And especially has its own spacing, which is on tapers 3 to 5 meters. Small worksite confinement from 3 to 5 meters. And for longitudinal separation from 10 meters to 20 meters. Again, I always emphasize this even during the conduct of my awareness in the different district engineering offices, in the presence of its own district engineer, assistant district engineer, and project engineers, and project involved personnel in the district, and even in the regional office. I always emphasize this standard. So the next, safety standard. Now, if you notice this, from traffic cone to bollard. So in the project, depending on the planning engineers who prepares program and what is applicable to a certain project. But very common, we use this bollard for short and long term. Again, with the standard height of 450 millimeters to 1,000 millimeters. Again, emphasize that there should be a reflective tape from with 250 millimeter bandwidth. The same with the Trafficon, it should be between 3 to 5 meters. No, we do not exactly look after the standard spacing, but sometimes applicable and not applicable. But all we want to see is there should be a spacing. Now, maybe you can adopt 2 meters, 5 meters and beyond. But here, based on the standard, from 3 meters to 5 meters spacing in small work site confinement and in longitudinal separation from 10 meters to 20 meters. So this is very important to know, and this is very vital in our projects. Why? And this is not for the contractors. This purpose, bollards which is reflective, appreciated during nighttime, is not for the DPWH. Again, this is not for the project contractors. And what is the purpose of this? Why we place this? Why we insist this reflective tape? It should be that has a reflective tape. And this will be really appreciated during night time. Again, this is not for DPWH and the project contractors. This is for the community, the public motorists that passing through that project site. This is for the community that we are serving as a government employee. For them, what if you do not have that kind of warning devices? So the blame will be put to the implementing office and the project contractor as well. So in order for us not to be blamed, we will follow these standard warning devices that is due for the project. So next slide, please. Now, if you look at this, I notice, or I happen to conduct inspection go Cebu South, and I appreciate the efforts of the Cebu 4th District Engineering Offices back in the year 2019, when they implemented the road construction or along coastal road, no, going to kilometer station 120 to 130, if my memory serves me right. I appreciate the flasher light, no, installed in the midway of the project site. No? Very yes, I really appreciate the effort. No? It is very useful and visible for the motoring public during nighttime. So I hope there are. So we are now. There are district procuring now, the 2021 DPWH projects. I do hope this will be improved. If there are districts implemented road widening and even road blocking, there should be a flasher light, a battery operated flasher light. So maybe you can modify, or there are contractors modifying this as long as it is visible, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Next, please. Now, under this Department Order 13, series of 2018, there are some layouts and placement of road projects. And this is it. There is a construction project site here in the right portion. And this is the placement. So, again, this can be extracted in our Department Order 13 series of 2018 for our private partners here for you to follow. If you are contracting the PWH projects, they should be followed. If you notice, if 4-lane road, 1 lane closed on the right portion, this is the placement. And if you consider this a center road project site, so this is the placement. Share with me an impression of a road with this placement and is visible during nighttime with blinkers during nighttime. I know you can share with me the feeling that really our project partners are also sensitive of what the community, of what our people observe, that we in the government, we in particularly in DPWH, care for them. If you will notice, there is a blinker from the start. If you're going up and back and forth directions, this is the placement. Next, please. Now, another placement under DO 13, series 2018. Again, I will always emphasize this standard can be extracted in DO or Department Order 13 series of 2018. So this is the placement. This is the placement. From the start of the speed regulation, if you notice the number 40 represents the speed regulation. So it follows the signage, a road work ahead, or because it is in a symmetry, no, symmetrical, this placement will be reflected also in the other side. So what is public going up to the project site, that signage also will be reflected. If you notice, there are similarities. So stop, and then main working ahead. This is a symbolic sign for main working ahead, the color orange, and then prepare to stop. There is a traffic controller, or commonly called as the flagman. If you happen to pass by going Cebu South, we have a project implemented there. And personally, I told or I talked to the flagman, and then yes, I appreciate that there is a placement, and there is a traffic controller, and there is a smooth traffic flow. But I observed that he wears short pants. So if you look at the model in that placement, no, he wears the complete personal protective equipment, like a vest, like a long pants, and a flag, if there is a flag, or a signage, directional signs, if it is stop or if it is a go signage. So he holds a traffic control device. He will be the traffic controller. He will be indicate a go and stop signage. Likewise on the other side, because this will be now a one-lane road. And again, during nighttime, this is the placement with reflectorized or a flasher light. Next, please. Next placement, please. So side is a matrix. That's why both sides will be considered placing standards. Now we have also, aside from our, as I said, aside from our horizontal projects, we have also implemented vertical projects like school buildings. So both vertical and the horizontal has its own placements. No? So under this, again, Department Order 13, these are the standard. Now for one story, one classroom, ground floor plan, these are the setup. So for one classroom, then next please. There is a Legion. For two-story, for classroom, and then so on and so forth. For two-story, for classrooms, this is the setup. Two-story, for classroom, second floor, this is the setup. So next please. Next please. Now for the preparation of the program of work, under this Department Order 13 series of 2018. So given The project category level of improvement for road, to paved concrete. This is a sample actually of the to prepare the construction safety and health program of each project. So there is a percentage of cost. So I know if there are project engineers and planning engineers here attended the webinar, I know they are familiarized with this. But there is an important message at the bottom. Note, derived percentage of cost of construction safety and health as per project requirements relative to civil works is advisably lower than the values above or within plus 10%. I know they are familiar with this, but this is given in the guidelines that I always say to you, the DPWH DO 13 series of 2018. Everything. That's why it is a comprising guideline. It is a consolidated guideline regarding construction safety and health program, because cost estimates are given and sample computations are or can be taken as reference. So next, please. So back to the timeline. So back to the timeline. So I've said there are factors and there are ways thought in that department or 13 series of 2018. Now, on that year, the year 2018, Oslo, or Occupational Safety and Health Law, was signed by no less than our President Rodrigo Duterte, dated August 17, 2018. So we are very happy actually that this law has come out. And personally, I say to, and I always told my counterparts in the district that our construction safety and health program has now the power or has now the implementing arm. Kung sa Bisaya pa, nanay ngipon. Because this is now a law of the land. The Public Act number 11058. Next, please. So I am very particular of the chapter 3 of this house law, duties and rights of employers, workers, and other persons. If you can see, there are 8 sections here. That is very vital or relatively present in our project contracts or project implementation. It is not applicable, and actually referring to the duties of employers, workers, and other persons. Section 4. Section 5, workers' right to know. Section 6, workers' right to refuse and safe work. Section 7, workers' right to report accidents. Section 8, workers' right to personal protective equipment. And Section 9, safety signage and devices. So Section 10, safety in the use of equipment. It's very important. And Section 11 is occupational safety and health information. Next, please. Next, please. Under OSH law, Republic Act 11058. In chapter 4, covered workplaces, there's a safety officer qualification. I know our project contractors are very familiar with this. Our project engineers, that if you are designated a safety officer of the project or in the office, you must undergo a safety training. So either a basic occupational safety and health training or construction safety training. So at least you have to undergo such training in order for you to be designated a safety officer. Now, for a safety officer 1, or ISO 1, a mandatory 8-hour post orientation course or 2-hour trainers training. No? So you can be designated as safety officer 1 if you want. You will have a mandatory 8-hour orientation course of occupational safety and health. Now, for safety officer 2 is O2. You will undergo a 40-hour basic occupational safety and health training course. So, follow safety officer 3 is O2, a mandatory 4-hour basic course, and additional 48 hours of advanced specialized occupational safety training, relevant to the industry and other requirements as prescribed by OSH standards. There is always an OSH standard. And a minimum OSH experience of, if you are designated as safety officer 3, you must have an experience of at least 2 years of experience, a minimum experience. Next, please. So back to the guideline or the timeline. Now we will take up this safety officer 4. For safety officer 4, you have to undergo 40-hour basic training, additional 48 hours of advanced specialized occupational safety training, an aggregate of 320 hours of OSH-related training, and other requirements. An actual experience of safety officer 3 will be a minimum of 4 years, or at least 4 years. So back to the timeline. I am allotted to give you presentation for 1 hour. That's why I summarize it. Because in every orientation I conducted, I always consume 3 hours. But for this prestige institution, summarize it, and I will make it 1 hour. And please, Secretariat, inform me if I still have available time.
Please, you have 5 minutes left, sir.
I still have 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
So, from 2018, DPWH memorandum dated June 15, 2020 was disseminated. But before that, DPWH, during this pandemic crisis, DPWH, back to the timeline. Before this, DPWH introduces Department Order 39 series of 2020. Revised construction safety guidelines during the COVID-19 public health crisis. And this is now the update. So I've said, all of this I introduced and informed during the orientation I conducted, but this is the latest update. The department, because of this pandemic, disseminated the Department Order 39 series of 2020. The subject, revised construction safety guidelines for the implementation of infrastructure projects during COVID-19 public health crisis, repealing Department Order 35 series of 2020. So in our projects now, and I do hope now in 2021, because we are, or other district engineering offices procured already. And if really they are incorporating now the COVID-19 standards, safety standards, or construction health program, considering COVID-19 for our 2021 projects. And it's good because this department order dated May 19, 2020 was disseminated because of this crisis, no health crisis we are suffering. So adopting all the standards, the proper or standard health protocols, if I'm allowed to read, no, pursuant to revised omnibus guidelines on implementation of community quarantine in the Philippines, dated 15 May 2020, revised omnibus guidelines, which granted authority to this department to issue construction safety guidelines for allowed government and private construction projects in areas under enhanced community quarantine, modified enhanced community quarantine, general community quarantine, and modified general community quarantine. The Department Order 35 series of 2020 and therein attached construction safety guidelines for the implementation of infrastructure projects during the COVID-19 public health crisis are hereby, and the revised construction safety guidelines for the implementation of infrastructure projects during the COVID-19 public health crisis is hereby issued accordingly. So all IATF considerations, health protocols under categories ECQ, MCQ, MGCQ are being implemented here. Now, the next slide please, timeline. And the last part, the latest part. No, the timeline, please. So, again, no, in the issuance of DO 39 series of 2020, it follows the memo dated June 15, 2020 from the Bureau Director of Bureau Construction, Director Eric A. Ayapana, which has a subject estimated increase in cost of CSHP as pay item. So I would like to show you how it goes, no? How is increased and how it is programmed. So memo to regional directors, project management office directors, district engineers, this department. Subject, estimated increase in cost of construction safety and health program pay item relative to the issuance of DO 39 series of 2020. So next slide, please. This is what this dated June 15, 2020. Next, please. Slide. Now, under DO 13 series of 2018, as I said, no, there is a standard, there is a factor that the program, or the programmer, or the planning engineer has to be considered, no? Like project category level of improvement from number 1, paved concrete to paved concrete, which is a factor of 0.3 from DO 13 series of 2018. Now the updated is considering safety measures for COVID-19, there are requirements, complete PPE. From 0.3, there is an increase to 2.9. Considering this complete PPE while considering full utilization of face masks, eye goggles, or face shield, a full-time safety officer as per Republic Act 11058, a full-time first aider, 2 sanitation aid, materials and facilities for regular disinfection, temperature check, and a COVID-19 rapid test. That's why this was disseminated and initiated by our Bureau Director of the Bureau of Construction for our planning engineers to adapt, for our planning engineers to implicate or collaborate or incorporate with the program of works for our 2021 projects. Considering that COVID-19 pandemic is still existing on the year 2021. Wala pa mang vaccine. So this will be applicable because COVID-19 is still exist. Next, please. Next. So there are computations, the graveling, other factors, widening wave. There is a factor, there's a percentage cost, and there is an increase. So if you notice, there's a previous and updated. And previous is stated in the 13 series of 2018, and then the updated one is the latest dissimulation computation. Of course, still press the note, the notice in the bottom. Now, there's always an allowable. The right percentage of cost construction, safety and health as per project requirements relative to the civil works is advisably lower than the values above or within positive 10%. The next, please. Back to the timeline. And for my closing, no? This estimated increase in cost of construction safety and health signed by Yusek Sadayan. And for my closing, as I've said earlier, it is my great honor to have me as your speaker, considering that the topics involves DPWH guidelines, which really from 2017 up to the present, I always emphasize and I always tell and coach our planning engineers to incorporate construction safety and health programs in our projects and even in the district. So until now, there is still a struggle for me. And I hope with this prestige institution, through the project engineers, through the civil engineers who are here present, to be one of this endeavor of mine, to be one of this objective of mine, to coach, to educate, to aware each and everyone through this presentation. If you happen you implemented projects privately, and particularly if you happen to implement projects in the DPWH or any other government agency. So I hope with this little knowledge you have, you can share to you can tell them, and you can coach them, aware them that there should be a construction safety and health program in every project. There is, if you are contracting DPWH, there is a DPWH standard construction safety and health program that should be followed. Again, thank you all for listening. And thank you all, PIC Cebu chapter officers and staff for having me. Good afternoon to everyone.